He's throwing a incredible sports event at the White House. Never did seen before. And again, Trump is a real estate guy. He is a organizer. He's a sports guy. He puts fights together. He puts things together. He puts events like this together. And he's doing something that has never been done in American history for the world to see. The UFC 250, which is crazy that the UFC 250 is landing on the freaking 250th anniversary. Again, God works in mysterious ways. And now we have it on the front lawn on his birthday. They're saying one of the greatest freaking what is it, tickets? Cards ever. And
they're going to walk out of the Oval Office to go into the octagon.
Yes.
That's so gangster.
I mean, come on. And again, I know you guys hate Trump, liberals. I get it. But you can't give him this. And again, we showed this in the beginning of the stream, and I'm going to show it again when we said they ain't like us. No, none of these liberals. And again, if they would have said it when they were doing stuff like this, well, remember we had that the flag pride shit on the front lawn of the White House. Not a cricket, not a peep from these people about this. And then you had the quote unquote transgender woman with the all this other stuff. Just a bunch of weirdos indoctrinating, nothing but bullshit. Nobody said a word. But now Trump, he's coming out here taking the USA and integrating it with the UFC and having a freedom fight on his birthday for the 250th anniversary. I mean, you could not ask for something bigger than this. You know what I mean? What are you guys' thoughts on the difference between Biden's White House, what he did in 2022 or 3 or whatever it was, versus what Trump's doing for the UFC 250?
I remember Biden's White House had a circus running through it for Christmas time. You remember when they did that whole Christmas spectacle? That was a freaking embarrassment, abomination, complete disrespect towards the country and the fallen soldiers. That was it. It's really just it really just goes to show you it's really that simple. I mean, first of all, you can get into opposite comparisons between visuals of what we're seeing on the screen and then to the way an administration was running it and the things like it's all just been shut down. Like you don't see it, you don't hear it anymore. It's been shut down as it should have been, as it should be, because it's all just predatorial stuff, if you know what I mean. But it's a tight ship. It's America first is the way he's running the country. He's running the country as America first. Respect America, respect. In a nutshell, it's really just respect, right? And to put on an event like this, I am stoked because I'm a huge UFC fan. I am because I love combat sports. Because by nature, we're combative people. We're humans. We're combative people, right? We protect our own, but we need to be combative. We have that instinct in us. It's a natural instinct. It's there. Everybody has it. Some more than others. Some guys have some sugar in the tank, as Jerry likes to say. It's just so funny, but no, to be able to have the stars aligned on this with the 250, everything aligning up, having this combative sport. See, to them on the left, they're saying, "Oh, this is making a mockery. This is making a mockery of the United States. This is what it's people hurting each other and beating each other up on the front lawn." No, man, no, that's not true. That's so far from the truth. And they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say. Who gives a shit? But the thing is I love this. This is amazing. This feels pro-America. This feels old school America. Block parties, shutting it down. 4th of July, aerial fire. You can't even throw aerial fireworks anymore because everybody's like, oh, the world's going to catch on fire. Everybody's just so, pussified about it. And so this is great. To me, this is American. I can't wait for the 4th of July. I am stoked on the 4th of July. So, yeah, I think this is all positive, all good. The left is full of crap, and I love it.
Every president back to Washington has thrown parties on the White House lawn. This is just a party. And if they're all worried about the violence and whatnot, there was active duels on the front lawn of the White House many times. People have died there. Like, this is just it's a match. It's just for fun, guys. They take everything so serious.
Well, yeah. Well, if you ask the wokies and some of the black victim oppressed race hustlers, they'll tell you, oh, they're only doing this because this is what they used to do to the slaves. I said, well, there's white fighters fighting and fighters. Like, what are we talking about here? But again, I don't even want to go left and right versus BS. It's just, to me, it's just either you're American or you're against the country. It's as simple as that. Because Trump, again, you see the old clips. Trump is quote unquote a Republican. I get it. I know he's a Republican. But guys, I'm from New York State. He's not a Republican. The man was a Democrat the whole time, and he's a yuppie from New York City. I have to keep reminding people of this. Okay. He's not, he just loves the country. He knows what this country has allowed him to do, being one of the most successful men, if not the most powerful man on the planet now. It's because of the United States of America. And speaking of that, do you think Elon Musk from South Africa would have done what he's done and becoming a trillionaire if he stayed in South Africa? I don't think so. He came to America to do the things he needed to do. I mean, I don't put any doubt on Elon Musk, but even Elon Musk, who was a Democrat, said, no, this is crazy. I love this country. It ain't about Democrats and Republicans, about either you love the country or you hate the country. We get it. You hate Trump. No problem. But why do you have to watch the country burn in the process? And speaking of that, I'm going to play a clip from a young lady from News Nation. I watch her a lot. She's like a moderate Democrat, but she's like, the Democrat party didn't leave. I didn't leave Democrat party. The party left me. And she does a weekly show, and she's talking about uniting us. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on this, and I'm trying to find some common ground between, she's going to say the left and the right, but just look at it as pro-America versus anti-America. Take a look.
Every day at 4 p.m., I have a Democrat join me on my debate podcast, Prove It. And every day we find areas of agreement. They often agree with me that having an open border was a complete disaster. And I often agree with them that Americans really need much more access to affordable health care. This week I joked to one of my guests that it's totally crazy that we're not in the same party given all the agreement, to which he responded, "Don't let anyone in my party hear you say that." He was joking, of course, but there was a grain of truth to it. God forbid a Democrat be seen agreeing with someone who likes Trump. God forbid the Democrats help Trump get something the nation needs passed. God forbid the Republicans incorporate any of the Democrats' legitimate suggestions. It's this that Americans hate most about our politics: the fighting, the bickering, the polarization, when they know that more unites us than divides us as Americans. The Democrats are rooting so hard against Trump that they are rooting for Iran. The Republicans are rooting so hard for Trump that they can't admit that Americans are utterly broke and need help now. How do we break the logjam?
What do you guys think about that? Do you agree with her? And do we need to find common ground with the two sides of the spectrum?
I mean, really, if you look at the three of us, I mean, I know you say you're not a Republican, which is fine. I am a registered Republican. Anthony is probably. Have I ever said, "Oh man, the health system is perfect. It's so good. It should be, we shouldn't make it cheaper." I was in the. This is going back to when I was probably a Democrat, but I was pretty pro Obamacare back in the day. I didn't know what the heck what was in it. I was 18. But do I think we should fix the healthcare system? Yeah, I'm sick of walking into a system where I get a CAT scan and it's 30 grand. That's insane. The machine has been paid for 100,000 times. We should be doing it at cost plus 10%. That's fair. 10%. The whole Iran thing, yeah, I can agree on that part. I think we're all broke, and I honestly, I'm pretty center. I'm almost center left if you want to get there, but the left, we're not running against center left people. We're running against far left. That's my thoughts.
No, I agree with you on that one, Trent. The line, okay, right? It's shifted. It's absolutely it's all screwed. We don't even know what the hell. We don't even know what's going on anymore. Okay, let's just be real. We don't know what the hell left and right and center left and up down and left right and flip it upside down. We don't even know what the hell's going on anymore.
There's no line.
Okay, there's no line. It's all jacked up. It's just like this, right? Okay, so the hell with the line. The thing is this. I would respectfully say I agree that I would absolutely love for people to come together and actually be able to have discussion and communicate and articulate properly without. So we can't even do that anymore. Like that's not a possible thing anymore. Like to sit down and be like, hey, let's have a conversation, like doing the Charlie, right? Charlie was the closest person we had to be able to even do that. And then what happened? He got offed. That tells you a lot. Now, yes, it was very obviously an unfortunate situation, but that goes to tell you that he was way too close to doing exactly what you're asking or what we're talking about right now. That was a threat. And if money couldn't buy him, then, well, if we can't buy him with money, then nothing's obviously going to work. So what do we need to do? The same thing they try to do to Trump, they did to Charlie, and they've tried to do with other prolific figures or individuals, independent journalists, your Nick Shirley's. He's getting death threats. You think that was just an office fire for Pratt? No, they wanted that fool to be in there and burn down. So the call to action, the act of violence being more and more normal means that some nerves are being struck. So I'm not sitting here and saying I am. I'm right. And I wouldn't say I'm like far right. You know, I do like an Alex Jones things. I believe in a lot of that stuff, but I'm able to still, have rational thinking. I'm pretty good at that. You could put the furthest left person in front of me and I can still have a conversation with them until they go off their Richter. Then it's like, okay, talking to a wall. But I'm not going to be the first one to do that. I think that I do respectfully say that the media and social media definitely, obviously, we know plays a huge factor in all this. The school system plays a huge factor in this. And that's why I always talk about parents. Protect your kids. Don't just shove college down their throat. Don't, because these are the next generations, and it's up for the rational thinkers to be able to talk with. I talk with my kids. My kids know the stance and take. They know left and right. I'm not against everything the left says by any means. I'm really not. So there's some rational things that I'm like, oh, okay, I could see that. That's great. The problem is how they implement it. That's the problem. Is like, that's a great idea. How do we focus together in implementing this? In most of the stuff, I don't think that, quite frankly, I think the left comes up with a lot of great ideas and a lot of ways to kind of like say, I think this is how we should be. I think we should help this and that, blah, 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 which is great. But how's it implemented in a way to where it's not corrupt? Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not saying that the right is all hunky-dory, like all perfect and this and that, because there's a lot of snakes in there. Way more than we even know. So, obviously, I'm team humanity. I'm pro humanity. I'm pro having kids, having family, being in a safe nation, and being able to walk to a park and not have needles all over the floor. And I'm a father, and I'm really scared for my kids, my children. I really am. I fear for them in the world and the way it's heading. So I think that we need to somehow work together. I just don't like. I feel like it's not necessarily a person thing, like a person to person thing. I just think what's happening is the indoctrination thing, and we're just getting fed. And what happens is the bigger systems putting in the divide, which we all know it's a real thing, it's the truth. Because if you put regular people in a screwed up situation, most of the time they can circumvent ideas together and they can work their way through problems and situations. But we allow the media and social media and the news stations and everything else to circumvent those thoughts for us, which means our critical thinking, it's lost, it's gone. I don't know, man. It's a tough situation.
Absolutely. And well said by both of you guys. And I give that lady credit for trying to have a difference of opinion on her show every week. Hey, Jenny, how are you? She says, yo, is this the right place to find the Fed lurking? Yes, it is. Vic says, at the end of the day, it's the mainstream media giving out TDS syndrome to everyone who watches. Same conversation when Trump cures cancer. They would be pro-cancer. Yes.
When Joe Rogan is far right, you've lost the fucking ticket.
Well, here's the thing, Trey. You're far right as well.
I know.
And you just said where you're at.
I'm literally center left. I am like, I was a Democrat 20 years ago. Well, not quite 20, but almost 20 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, time is flying. But this is the way I see it. Unfortunately, Donald Trump, as great as he is, and we did need him to bring the country to where we needed it to be after President Autopen was in. Here's the thing, though. He's not here to unite us because he can't unite us. First of all, he doesn't have the fortitude or the personality to unite us. He's a very combative person, number one. He's very aggressive and he's very competitive. So he's not a uniter. He is a good person, I believe, and I believe once you sit down with him, I've never met somebody that didn't like him. Even Bill Maher, who hated him and all this other stuff. Bill Maher met him. He was like, holy shit, not going to lie. He was blah, blah. Dana White summed it up best. He goes, if you sit down in a room with Donald Trump and you eat dinner with him, there's nobody on the planet that would leave saying they hate the guy. A lot of these people that pretend to hate him, they don't. They don't really hate him. They just have to do that. Chuck Schumer doesn't hate Trump. Nancy Pelosi doesn't hate Trump. The freaking View doesn't hate Trump. There's all kind of videos of all these people, right? So, but here's the thing. So they're just playing their roles as actors. We know what Democrats are, and I've said it many times, so I'm not going to say it. But here's the thing. In order for us to unite as a country, we're going to have to find common ground. And unfortunately, the Democrat Party has to realize that these socialists, communists, Marxists, very dumb policies, they're going to burn you, okay? And fire burns you. So they're going to have to get what they vote for and then later on say, well, you were right. Like she said, the one of the lefties say, yeah, open borders are bad. But they weren't saying that when Biden was in office. They weren't saying open border was bad. They were like, oh, anybody needs to come over and blah, blah, blah. No, that's bad, okay? Just socioeconomically, supply and demand with jobs and housing and everything else. And also, we only have a certain amount of resources. We cannot have a bunch of people just opening the floodgate and taking all our resources. We pay our taxes for a certain thing, and that's what we need to pay for it. So how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take for our country to actually be united? You know, I was thinking about this. I was like, you know, Jerry, it's the year 2026. It's our 250th anniversary. We need to unite. The problem is the poison has been set on both sides, that the left is terrible and evil, and the left is like, hey, Trump is the devil and he's Satan and he's Adolf Hitler and all of his followers are Nazis and all this other stuff. I have to realize that I have to zoom out like we do with Bitcoin and say it's not going to happen during Trump's term. It's just not. It is not. So when is it going to happen? Well, this is why I always talk about being like a Thomas Jeffersonian Republican Party, where he was president for 8 years and then we went in power for another 16 years after that. So I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm talking about MAGA, Make America Great Again, or even we have to call it something else because the brand is good. The name is good. The problem is it's burnt on the left side. The left side hates that name. When you say MAGA, that's bad for them. Again, Make America Great Again is bad, they say. Anyways, let me.